Her sister's keeper. When mortals hear the word heaven, their minds conjure up images of endless cloudy plains where worthy souls can find eternal peace. But only those who have seen the realms of heaven firsthand know the truth. It is a nigh impenetrable fortress, designed to prepare the angels who dwell there for one thing, and one thing only: glorious war. None knew the reality of heaven better than Angela. Stole from Asgard as an infant and long thought dead by her royal family, the daughter of Odin was secretly raised as an angel, eventually becoming one of the Queen of Heaven's most trusted and capable soldiers. Like her sisters in heaven, Angela lived by the belief that nothing is given and that everything has a cost. And there were no costs greater than the ones that both Angela and heaven paid when the time stream entanglement rippled across the fabric of reality. Long ago, Odin had removed the 10th realm from its rightful place on the world tree Yggdrasil as retribution for the Queen of Heaven's brazen affronts. While heaven's place in reality was eventually restored, allowing Angela to reunite with her long-lost siblings, the realm's tether to its home dimension had been substantially weakened. And the time had finally come for that connection to be broken for good. On the eve of the time stream entanglement, Angela had taken her baby sister, Lasse, to visit one of the wonders of heaven, the scintillant Sylvanias. Little did Angela realize that this peaceful moment of sisterly bonding would soon end in unspeakable tragedy. The hand of heaven was caught off guard when the Disir, undead Valkyries, devoted to Hela, attacked and snatched Lasse from her arms. Angela tried to give chase, but just as she was about to reclaim her sister from the Disir's cursed clutches, a massive wave of chronal energy washed over the 10th realm. As time and space began to unravel, heaven found itself unmoored. The entire realm was swept up in the time stream entanglement and deposited in another collapsing timeline. And all of those who dwelled in the 10th realm, including Angela, found themselves caught in the undertow. For all of their centuries-long lives, the angels of heaven had readied themselves for battle. But none could have prepared for the conflict they had suddenly found themselves thrust into. An unending struggle between ancient gods and ruthless demons. As the hand of heaven, the captain of the angelic army, it was Angela's duty to put her personal strife aside and lead her fellow warriors into the fray. Though they fought valiantly, countless angels fell in the brutal conflict. Before long, even the Queen of Heaven herself became a casualty of war. As next in line for the throne, Angela reluctantly ascended to rule the 10th realm. And though she wished to avenge her fallen sisters of heaven, the fate of her real sister, Lasse, had never left her mind. She blamed herself for the child's disappearance, and was determined to repay the debt she owed. Angela vowed that she would do whatever it took to find Lasse, even if it meant abandoning the confrontation at hand, to scour every realm, across every reality, for the lost child. Fortunately, during her time on the battlefield, Angela had struck up an allegiance with the Queen of Limbo, a powerful mutant sorceress. With a wave of her hand, the Queen of Limbo could summon portals that bridged the gap between dimensions. Thanks to her, Angela was able to return to her own dimension and resume her search for Lasse, and for the vile witch who dared to steal her away. According to one of heaven's all-seeing hierophants, Hela had last been seen vying for control of Asgard itself. So Angela first traveled to the fabled land of her birth. There, in the realm now known as Ixgard, she found the Golden Palace in disarray. Her father Odin was locked away in his chambers, deep in the Odin sleep. It was clear that a great conflict had taken place recently, and while Hela may have taken part in it, all signs pointed to the fact that Angela's adopted brother Loki had orchestrated the scheme. But neither Hela nor Loki were present now, nor was Angela's true brother, Thor. If she knew her siblings, they had likely lost interest in the affairs of their own realm and gone off to fight in some other conflict on Midgard, as they were wont to do. Angela decided to follow suit to see if she could gain any further insight into Hela's whereabouts. When she arrived on Midgard, Angela found the human world in a state of complete chaos. She watched from a distance as the heroes of that realm, including her brother and her former allies, the Guardians of the Galaxy, battled against sinister forces that had thrust one of Earth's most vibrant cities into unyielding darkness. Angela decided to move on before she found herself swept into yet another war against her will. She next ventured to ancient Vanaheim, hoping that her mother, Queen Frigga, might be able to aid in her quest where her father and brothers could not. But this was the first that Frigga had heard of Laus's disappearance. Though she was grateful that one daughter had returned to her, the protection loss of another weighed heavy on Frigga's heart. Frigga implored Angela to continue her search for Lausa, while Frigga herself rushed off to consult the mystical seers known as the Norns about the child's fate. Then, Angela paid visit to the fiery realm of Muspelheim. It had been said that a piece of Surtur's soul resided within young Lausa, so perhaps Hela had made a deal with the Queen of Cinders, who sought to bring that infernal power back to her realm. But as Angela held the Queen of Cinders at the point of her spear, the fire demon swore on her father's sacred twilight sword that she had no inkling where Hela or the child could be. Angela could tell from the way Cinder's flames trembled that she was not lying, so she spared the Queen of Muspelheim's life and journeyed on. Angela's voyage across the realms continued, taking her to the icy peaks of Jotunheim. Though King Laufey had no information to share regarding Hela or Lausa, Angela still enjoyed slashing her way through his battalion of frost giants nonetheless. In the mountain tunnels beneath Nidavellir, King Eitri gave Angela a warm welcome, offering her dwarven ale and finely crafted weapons, truly befitting a queen. But Angela was perfectly content with her Ikers, and had no desire to partake in revelry until after her quest was complete. Moving on to Alfheim, she was welcomed by Queen Ailsa Featherwine of the Fae. As was always the case, Ailsa insisted that the Dark Elves must be the true villains behind Hela's ploy. Angela considered that perhaps, just this once, the Light Elf Queen might be onto something. Angela swiftly traveled to Svartalfheim and interrogated a band of dark elf mercenaries she encountered in Bloodbuck Swamp. They claimed that they had not seen the missing child themselves, but their king, Malekith, had spoken of her after he was paid a visit by Hela not long ago. After Angela bested Malekith in combat, he grudgingly admitted that Hela had indeed come to him, inquiring about how she could use Lausa's unique abilities to manipulate the subconscious of Nidhogg, the Black Dragon, to make the beast do her bidding. Angela knew that her next stop had to be beneath Asgard, where Nidhogg was often found gnawing on the roots of Yggdrasil. When she reached the base of the World Tree, Nidhogg was nowhere to be seen. However, Angela did find herself in the company of another unexpected guest, Munin, one of her father's beloved ravens. The bird had often served as one of Odin's most trusted messengers, but this time, Munin had a message of his own to deliver to Angela. Munin claimed that he had just returned from a distant world called Clintar. While there, He had witnessed Hela fighting in the name of a dark god called Null. Angela instantly decided she would change her course and venture to Clintar to confront Hela directly. But Munin advised against it. He claimed that Hela's time as Null's Queen in Black was short-lived, and that she had fled from Clintar when her scheme failed. Though Munin admitted he had not seen where Hela had run off to after her fall from grace, Angela had fair reason to believe Hela would take solace in her own dark fortress in Niflheim, protected by her army of the dead. And for an angel of heaven, there was no place less welcoming than the realm more commonly known as Hell. Still, she thanked Munin and set off for the Asgardian underworld. After what seemed like an eternity, Angela arrived on Nastrond, Niflheim's infamous shore of corpses. There, some of the most dangerous souls in Hell wandered in perpetual anguish. Countless undead soldiers dared to attack Angela the moment she set foot on Nastrond's icy shore. But all were quickly dispatched with her legendary spear, save for one. This soul was different. It radiated with intense energy, unlike anything Angela had ever felt before. Even though the warrior it once belonged to was no longer alive, it was clear his spirit had not been snuffed out quite yet. As the warrior soldier approached, his fist began to glow. The green and yellow tatters of his clothing fluttered in the frigid breeze, revealing a dragon-like symbol tattooed onto the withered, decaying flesh of his chest. "Hold, warrior," Angela said. "I mean you no harm. It is only your queen I wish to shred to ribbons." "Not my queen," the undead warrior said with what sounded like a chuckle. "I only serve Xiao Lao." "Xiao Lao?" Angela questioned. "I have never heard that name before." "You will. Soon enough," the warrior replied. "If you want to find Hela, Is this Xiao Lao here in Niflheim then?" The warrior groaned. "She's there, in Kunlun." Angela had heard of Kunlun. It was an enchanted realm that served as one of the so-called 7 capital cities of heaven. Hailing from the one true heaven, Angela had always dismissed Kunlun and its sister cities as nothing more than cheap imitations. But if Hela had sanctuary there, perhaps it was finally time to see if these realms lived up to their name. "How does one get to Kunlun?" the Angela replied. "It's a long, winding road." The warrior replied, "But if I could find it, so can you." With that, the undead warrior reached out his hand and opened his glowing fist, revealing a dazzling crystal floating above his palm. It sparkled a brilliant green and was shaped like the dragon on the warrior's chest. "This should lead you there," he said, "a bit of Xiao Lao's qi in crystal form." "What can I do to repay you?" Angela asked. "This one's on me," the warrior replied. "Everything has a cost," Angela replied sternly. "Fair enough," the warrior said as he began to walk away. "How about this? Someone named Luke. Tell him I said hi, and bye." Angela watched as the warrior lumbered away, looking to the sky with an air of relief when he reached the shore of corpses. "Now, if you'll excuse me," the warrior continued, "my ride is finally here." Within moments, an armored woman descended from the skies on a winged horse. Angela recognized her as one of Odin's Valkyries, tasked with ushering the bravest, most noble souls to their final heroic reward in Valhalla. The warrior climbed aboard the steed, which soon vanished into the thick clouds hanging over Niflheim. With that, Angela took flight once more as well, letting the strange spirit-infused crystal guide her across the realms until she finally reached the mystical city of Kunlun. When she arrived, she soon discovered that she was not alone. An assemblage of heroes had gathered in the ancient land, preparing for an impending invasion. Among the champions, Angela spotted someone vaguely familiar, a man who wore green and yellow and had a dragon emblem on his chest, the same symbol sported by the undead warrior she encountered in Hell. "You," Angela demanded. "Are you the one they call Luke?" "No," the man replied, confused. "I'm Lin Li, but you can just call me Iron Fist." "I see," Angela said. "Then I must seek audience with Shou Lao." "Get in line, lady," Iron Fist said with a smirk. "The big guy's asleep right now. And as his immortal weapon, that means I've got to deal with a mountain of problems. Doom is planning an attack on the heart of heaven. The 8th city of Dizang somehow merged with the other 7 as well. Oh, and I've been stuck babysitting the itty-bitty goddess that the Prince of Orphans took in. So, unless you're planning to join the fight, indeed, I am," Angela said, raising her spear and charging at full speed toward the unsuspecting Iron Fist. Angela had thought she had caught the faintest trace of Lausa's unmistakable scent on the man's garments, and when he mentioned the itty-bitty goddess, her suspicions were confirmed. Whether this Iron Fist was working with Hela or not, Angela didn't know, but she did know this. When she finally found those who had taken her sister from her, the cost of their transgression would be high. Perhaps the highest they would ever pay.